Welcome in, everybody, to the DNVR Rapids podcast. We are continuing our 2023 season preview. And we're moving on to the attack. The goals, baby. What everyone comes for, the goals. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, as always. And I got my guy, Yahya. Are we pulling up to the gas station?
The Yapulation?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm all in.
You filling up at the gas station, getting some gasolina going,
dude,
baby?
Yappy is the one filling me up right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yappy's giving me all the feels.
All right, you finish filling up, top her off, wipe off your windshield, with the squeegee thing, and I'm gonna talk to our guy downtown, Duane Brown.
Oh, it's attack time.
It's attack
Let's
time.
talk about some goals.
We love goals.
Let's attack people.
Well, we love goals. We know we're getting them from one person. Question is, can the rest of them come through? And this is where we're gonna start with the attack. Obviously, the God, our Chilean king, Diego Rubio, fresh off 16 goals.
Dude was a menace in 2020.
Tied to the record in 2022. We know what year it is.
Yeah.
If you watched the last episode, you'll know what we're talking about.
I'm already confused. And it's like the exact same day.
It was minutes ago. Okay. Look, obviously, we get into maybe position change, all that, etc. Okay. With him returning from injury, we got Brian Galvan.
Who's almost like a new addition.
It feels like a new face, but it's an old face. We have the guy that for some reason has taken up so much of the preseason talk, and we can maybe get into why, and that might be my big question. Darren Yapi. Right? We also have Jonathan Lewis.
J. Lou.
I like some J. Lou. All right. We also have the Bulldog, Mikey B. We love Mikey B. Big Mikey B heads over here.
I mean, this was all love because I love them. He's a Chihuahua dog in the best of ways.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Replace Bulldog with Chihuahua Dog. I like that. I'm down
I just
with
think that really, really represents who Mikey B is. As a soccer player, I don't know him
Sure.
personally.
The two dogs I've ever been scared of are Chihuahuas that I don't want to bite my ankles off.
And that's what Mikey B is. He will bite your ankles
That's
off.
so funny. All right. We also got the Scott, Sam Nicholson. Rough season for him. We get into that. We also have who will be on the bench, much like Galvan all last season with injury. Yaya's guy, Yahya. I know. We'll get all right. Whatever. Let's move on. New faces. Calvin Harris. Nice little interleague trade.
What I love about this is that during halftime, they can just go out there and DJ.
Yeah. Can't name a Calvin Harris song, but I think he has one with Rihanna.
Probably, dude.
Let's go.
You should have been in the halftime show with her.
Yeah.
That's the case.
And then the Frenchman, the $1 million guy, Kevin Cabral.
Let's go.
Designated player. Which, all right, Dwayne's saying let's go. Let's start there. Because really, I mean, he is a DP, right? Yes, we're paying half his salary. Even paying half of his salary, literally with half of it being taken care of by the Galaxy, he is the highest paid player on this team.
Yep.
With half of his salary, he's the highest paid player on this team. This is an investment. This kid is coming in. He is going to start. Period. In my mind. Yep. Am I wrong? I mean, maybe let me ask you that. Am I wrong thinking he's going to walk in and be the guy on the wing to start the season?
No. They paid that much. They're paying him that much for him to go out there and be a starter. If you wanted to pay a bench player that much, you would have gotten Raul Jimenez. He would have been an expensive bench player for you. Exactly. That's what I'm talking
rather
about.
have Cabral.
Yeah.
If the
And that's as a Wolves fan. That's a huge statement.
If the Rapids believe in this guy, they believe in their players. They believe in their scouting. They believe in who they want. And if they went to go get Cabral, it's for a reason.
Let me frame the rest of this here. Obviously, Rubio, great goal scorer, right? In the middle with him, Zardes, now with Austin FC. Right, he had double-digit goal contributions on the season. Integral. Outside of that, Jonathan Lewis specifically, but as a whole, that group underperformed like crazy. Jonathan Lewis underperformed XG at the second highest rate in the league,
Yep.
only outdone by Kevin Cabral. So is that problem actually solved by bringing him in is the question.
Yes.
Or did
Yes.
did they just compound the underperformance?
No.
All right, Duane.
Dude,
talk me into him.
Cabral,
Talk me into him.
let's
Talk me into him.
go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my
We're
gosh,
unleashing. This
like-
is some Duane Alina here. Let's go.
This dude is ready. So ready.
So ready?
Everybody in LA.
How ready is he?
So ready. He's going to score 13 goals this year.
What?
That's how ready.
13?
Let's go.
He's 3 away from breaking the record.
Let's go.
That's incredible.
This is, I don't know. I have been watching this
That
video.
is so spicy. Oh my.
Oh, I've got
Lord.
spicy Cabral takes.
Okay.
Let me tell you. I just think after his LA experience, getting no support from the club, minimal support from the fans, now he's in a place that can truly like take care of him, help him develop. I think that he's going to get to the level that he was purported to be when LA first brought him in. And I mean, I know it's just preseason. What is preseason? But he's got 3 goals in preseason. And I have watched this video that the Rapids put on social media at least 10 times of the Cabral goal against Philly. And this is against Philly. They're rolling out their starters too. And that goal was just savage, berserker,
seen this from him
like
before.
unhinged, running up, throwing your body into the air, and just hitting the ball with the side of your face to get it in the net.
So you're telling
And,
me
like,
he's Chicharito.
Man, if that is a small taste of what Cabral is bringing this year and what the offense is going to be this year, like that's what I want our offensive attack identity to be, is just unhinged goal craziness. Just throwing yourself at that ball to get in the net. That's what we're getting with Cabral. Save your receipts, because I could be wrong at the end of the season, but it's preseason and I'm right until proven wrong.
Oh my God. Look, I hope you're right. That's what I'm gonna say. I hope you're right.
Just to like shut up the people from LA. That's the only reason I
Look,
wanted. Like,
he has,
besides,
look,
like,
you
Oh,
can find
man.
plenty of tape where you see it, right? And the rep on him isn't that he's a bad player; it's that he's a bad finisher.
yeah.
Right? He gets in space. He is fast as hell. He has a great first touch. Can't finish. Who does
Sounds
that
a lot-
remind you of?
Well, sounds like you need Roman.
Oh God! I was gonna say it reminds me of Jonathan Lewis,
There
who's
we
gonna be
go.
his starting partner on the wing. They both are so fast.
Yep.
Great first touch. Gets into a dangerous position 4 to 6 to 8 times a game. Can't finish.
I mean, you saw it all last year with J. Lou. He needed the perfect.
He did have
ball.
some nice goals.
Exactly, but he did need the perfect ball.
The
for that
4th
to
of
go.
July chip.
I mean, the first
Oh,
goal he had it with
mwah.
against Atlanta too.
Yeah.
The perfect pass from Rubio.
Yeah.
Like, again, the biggest question is not their strikers. The biggest question is their wingers.
Yeah.
Is Galvan going to be healthy enough to like
Is he
actually
going to
make
play
an
winger?
impact? Exactly. Is he actually going to even be there? Well, you look over at Calvin Harris. Look, also has some good tape, but he's not proven.
I don't think okay, so let's start. Okay, so let's say starting right now. You're picking your starters. And this is, I don't want to necessarily agree with all the writers over at MLS Soccer because they say that they're not going to make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. I do agree with them that Rubio will be starting at the 9,
Yep.
right? And I know that you'll get Cabral and Lewis to start. Fair so far.
No. I don't think you double down on 2 bad XG players. I think you have to have one of them out there.
So you start Galvan over Lewis?
Yeah, the only thing I question about that is that's what I would do. ACL, you need some time to get back. Maybe to start the season, that's how they go. But I think as the year goes
Or
on,
Mikey. You can start
Galvan-
Mikey.
Yeah, but I mean XG too. Like you kind of need some fresh blood in there, and I think Galvan just kind of takes over that the more you go.
So you're rolling with, so essentially Goal Bassett's our 10 is what you're saying with that.
Yeah.
He's going to play the Rubio role from last year, and Rubio's going to play the Zardes role from last year.
I feel like it's going to be more double 8s with
More
Rubio playing
false
the false
9.
9.
Let the
8-2
wingers
cross. two inverted wingers.
Let those wingers get to the corner of the box, play balls back
exactly
to goal, Bassett, and Rubio up
Rubio.
top.
exactly with Ronan as
targets.
the other double eight,
Sure.
banging them in.
Okay. I mean, I can't be mad at that. You know, one name that we didn't. Okay, so let's get into it because I'll leave it with my big question at the end, but I do think we need to talk about it. For some reason, all the national previews and bigger picture
Outlets.
previews outside of us, which is so hyper focused on the Rapids and talks Rapids
Yeah.
all the time, everyone's talking about Darren Yapi. Okay, everyone. And
The
I mean
Yapster.
everyone is talking about Darren Yapi.
Yep.
Look, I love Yapi. He only had one appearance longer than 30 minutes last season. It was a start in the last game of the season. He only had 2 other appearances longer than 20 minutes, and both of those were less than 30. Right?
Yep.
The guy did not play. And now we're talking. Now I see people throwing double-digit goals out there. I see people saying he's going to be sold to Europe next winter. Is it the Yappy season? Or are we just gassing ourselves up and on the hype of preseason?
So that's how I put it. I think it's 60% possible for it to be the Yappy season. 40% it's not. It's more likely for it to be than not, for the one reason that Frazier has shown that he likes to ease in his players.
Sure.
The year before, it's always a predecessor. Like, you kind of start seeing that he's giving them a little bit more trust. He's letting them get out there, whether it be 10, 30 minutes. Little by little, he eases them into the game. The next year, their minutes kind of spike all the way up. You saw it with Sammy. You saw it with Cole. The main 2 examples that we can see in the past 3 to 4 years. And I think Yappy is in that same trajectory. Yaya Torre was in that same trajectory. You were starting to see it little by little. You're starting to see them starting to become a part of the first squad. And I think this year you can definitely see it with Rubio and an expiring contract. They want to see who they have at the 9. If they should be planning for the future somewhere else, they need to know what's in their academy and not just go out and buy players.
Right.
They're an academy team. They're not a destination team. So they need to make sure that a highly touted player like him is ready to go for the next couple of years, maybe even just a year until maybe Rubio's contract is out, maybe until Yappy gets sold to Europe, maybe while they find another replacement. They need to make sure that they have something there, and the only way to find out is by letting them cook.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. To me, it's kind of the big question, right?
Yeah.
So, outside of that, Sam Nicholson, is he done? Is he cooked? Rough year for our guy Sam. He got on the score sheet late. I was kind of pushing it on the pod who was going to get on the score sheet first, Sam or Max, because both played hundreds of minutes before getting on the score sheet,
Yeah.
right?
I think also with Sam, COVID really affected him. And I think we were fair, but I think we didn't take that into account as much as we should. And I think that's something like that.
If you are
might
one
be better.
of the few mid-season moves, you're supposed to come in and bolster the roster.
Exactly.
Not come in and play a ton of minutes and be unproductive, right?
Yeah,
so whether or
exactly.
not COVID affected him, or they never actually said it was COVID, so we're assuming it's COVID. They said non-COVID illness.
Non-COVID illness.
I think that's just what they say so they don't have to do the protocol, but, whatever.
Technical issues.
Can he kind of supplement the roster in ways that we're maybe not thinking of? I know he started the last home game against Dallas as like a left or a right wing back.
And he played
And
really
Keegan
well.
played in as a 3-back center back.
Yep.
I thought he was fine. That first half he was playing on the side where he was, mostly right in front of the press box. So I was watching a lot. Maybe that's where we see some Sam minutes. Maybe Open Cup sub. Are we just kind of past the Sam Nicholson experience, Duane?
Yeah, I do think he'll be better this year than he was last year. And I do think that's a fitness thing with whatever it was, mystery illness that was happening. But again, kind of like when we talked about the defense is and midfield too, it's just there's a long line of talent in front of him. And if I'm looking at this roster of forwards, strikers and wingers, like, it's hard to move him up, not because he's not good or anything. It's just because, like, you've got people like Cabral and you've got Rubio and you've got...
Well, he's certainly not in a conversation with those guys. Let me frame it this way. who has more appearances this year, Calvin Harris or Sam Nicholson?
Harris.
Nicholson.
Interesting.
I think he
It's like that was confident from both sides. I have no idea what to do with that.
he's a known commodity. You know, Frazier likes his commodities that are known.
Yeah.
Okay, Harris, I think it was going to be eased in and maybe more of an Open Cup, Leagues Cup player.
Sure.
Well, I think Nicholson will be maybe the second sub off the bench.
And see,
Okay,
I
but
don't
if
think-
he but for
I don't
sub off
think
the bench-
Nicholson is a Fraser guy, though. I think he's a Porg guy.
Yeah.
And I think that Harris is more of a Fraser guy.
Could be. I could be completely wrong on this.
Yeah,
But
me
look,
too.
okay, but just on the bench, on the wing, right? Galvan, unless you think he starts over Lewis, so one of those two, then Barrios, right, and then Sam Nicholson, right?
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
at
that's a long
best
line.
or Calvin Harris. So at best, he's your third option off the wing. I mean, does he even have 10 appearances this season?
I say he does.
I think he was a pretty hefty investment. I mean,
Exactly.
it wasn't huge, right? I think they spent what $300,000 to bring him back over or
Yeah.
something like that.
I mean, I think you could see it, but I think it's going to be in a sub sort of way.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. That's how
you
I see
know,
it.
again, and
About
I think
10, maybe sound right?
I think you will see him more at home as an altitude sub than you will on the road.
Yep.
Probably the least athletic of all those guys, though, we just said.
But the other guys will be starting.
Sure.
Also, a lot of
I mean,
midweek
it's so
games.
confusing. That's the thing about this attack is I think we all like a lot of these guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know how to get them all on the field.
I guess you just have to say a lot of these defenders and midfielders and just put 11 forwards out there.
1, 8.
Or just put, yeah, exactly, 118. There you go. Max
Keegan?
Boom,
No, yeah.
Max Boom as your center back, Jack Price, and then everybody else out there just forward.
It's interesting, man. So with all that, and I mean, is there any other notes you want to get there before our big questions? Anything else you guys have on your mind about these attackers?
Just Rubio. Really love him. Just want to say
oh
we
my
love
god,
Rubio.
we didn't get into Rubio. What the hell is
I
wrong
think that's
with
gonna.
me?
I'm pretty sure that's gonna be part of our big question. But I think I just want to say, Rubio. I think is just incredible. He's the heart of this team.
God, he made it so fun down the stretch.
I
He's
think
awesome.
Jack is the brains of this team, while Rubio is the heart of the team.
How poetic.
It is very.
Agreed.
You're a
Thank you.
wordsmith, dude.
I
Agreed.
am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you. You're a beautiful man. I just
Thank
want to
you.
say this.
Look at that. We got nothing but compliment. You want to say something nice about me real quick?
Pit love.
You're doing a great job, buddy.
Wow, thanks. Duane, anything else we missed on your notes there before we get into our big questions?
No.
Okay.
Did I mention Cabral yet?
You love Cabral.
I did. Okay.
Okay, so this is okay. I'm just.
I think it
setting
took up a whole
ourselves-
segment.
Bro, I am just setting ourselves up for future live pods this year. This is the Cabral guy. All right,
Oh man,
here.
if he doesn't
Right
pull
here.
it off, I'm gonna get so dragged on Twitter.
You are gonna get dragged.
Also, this is gonna come out before our Thursday show when we have something special planned for our Thursday show.
Special.
So if he doesn't get Cabral in that special Thursday show, I'm gonna feel really bad for him.
Whoa, I didn't even consider that.
And then he can't claim him for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's so many claimable.
We're not telling him. We're
players.
not telling him. All right, moving on.
It's
Sorry,
fine.
love you
It's
guys.
fine.
No, again, it's fine.
We can't let them know. We can't let them know.
It's fine.
Keep them on the edge of their seats. All right. They pay for the whole seat, but they're only going to need the edge of it. Time for one big question. Wow, cool. You guys just come up with drops all the time. I love it. We are going to start with me.
Yay!
You're doing such a good job.
Thank you.
This is gonna be a great. This is gonna be a great first question, by the way.
What will be Brian Galvan's role this season? We've heard left wing back. We've heard starting wing. We've heard starting 10. We've heard super sub. I think one, it speaks to how talented he is, right?
Yep.
But ACL surgery is no joke, right? And it's common.
Second one on the same leg, I think, as well.
And like people can come back from that. It's not unheard of, right? It's not the 90s where that was basically a death sentence for a player,
Yep.
right? That being said, it's a long time to not be training with the ones. It's a long time to not be playing in competitive moments that you can't recreate in practice. Where does he fit in what is definitely a crowded attack? Now, I think his talent will shine through and he's going to play. But the question is where? Who doesn't live up to their billing in order for him to take that spot? Because to me, it does feel like he needs to take a spot and he doesn't have a spot to start.
Yep.
Right? So where does that come in? I think it's the biggest question because if we get a plus Galvan season, there's going to be goals to be had all over the place. So that's my big question. Downtown Duane Brown, what is your question?
Ooh, let's go to Jonathan Lewis.
What?
Yeah, let's spread it around.
J. Lou, man. That
You
chip,
kinda-
can I just say that chip on 4th of July was so sick.
Yeah, it was.
It's one of my favorite goals of the year.
It was so sick.
I've watched it. It's on MLS
I was
season
about to say,
pass.
it's a top 5 goal for
And
sure.
I've watched it many, many times.
All right, go ahead.
You almost feel like with all of these signings that Jonathan Lewis's time with the Rapids is maybe coming to a close, possibly.
Oh, I hope not. I love that guy.
I hope not. I'm just saying there's a lot of signings. There's a lot of people in that role. But, and here's the question, what if his speediness really starts to gel and connect with Yapi or Rubio?
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't need goals from Lewis. What I need is someone to get the ball to Yapi and Rubio. And if he can translate that speediness and the ball control, when he first started with the Rapids, he's one of my favorite players because he would just go right at defenders. Didn't give a crap.
Still doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, it feels like it's toned off a little bit. But if he can get back there and really get that ball in and cross it over, like, man, what is the ceiling there?
Sure.
Because it would just be crazy.
Well, and one thing that's going to help is having Cole Bassett and Connor Ronan on the field a lot, too.
Absolutely.
That's going to open up passes out. Obviously, having Jack Price back to sort of break out and get that ball forward.
They'll pull defenders.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot easier for him. He's not going to have to do everything
He
by
was
himself.
already making
Yes.
great runs last season.
Yeah.
I think that's been derided amongst Rapids fans, and I don't think he's got nearly the credit for how well he played in his role last season. Obviously, underperforming XG is the end all be all when it comes to soccer, right? Like, you got to score. That's the point. That's how you win games. But I think
Or you get the ball to someone else who scores.
yes, and if he can
That's why
up those
XG doesn't
assist
matter to
numbers,
me
right?
as much.
Contribute,
Up
like,
those
yeah.
assist numbers. I agree with you, Duane. Good big question. Moving on to the next good big question. My guy.
My big question is, can Yapi and Rubio play together?
Oh, please.
Can they gel enough to give Yapi his year? And can they gel enough for Rubio to break the record next year? It's two questions kind of mixed in one, but I think they go together because I think for Yapi to be the player we all expect to be, he's going to need Rubio. He's going to need Rubio to feed him the way Rubio fed Sardis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a very big part of to see if Yapi will be the guy. And I'm all in, man. We all know we're Yapi people. We're all in on Yapi, but I think it's all going to come down with the chemistry between him and Rubio and make sure that they're on the same page and they're reading each other's runs correctly. Last year, they had a very little time to work together, and you can kind of see it whenever they played together. It wasn't very well meshed. Yapi was running one way, Rubio the other. And this year, I think, with Yapi having more defined role, having something that, hey, this is where you're going to work towards, it's going to be a lot easier for them to actually mesh together and become a team and become the super squad.
Love it.
I can't believe none of us ask will Rubio break the record?
I thought that was
How-
too simple of a question, honestly.
Yeah, I think everybody was expecting it.
Okay,
I
let me
think
ask
that's
you
the
the
question
then let
on
me ask-
all of our minds.
Well, then let me ask you guys now, because we're not answering our big questions. We're letting the people and the narrative answer the question. But I can ask you right now. Does he break the record?
By 3 goals.
19 or 20? 19.
19.
I was wondering if he breaks it and then add 3, but 19 goals.
Yeah, 19 goals.
I don't know. I really don't.
I don't think he does. I think he
Because-
still has a good season, but yeah.
But here's the encouraging thing about that. I'm just looking at all of these players who could score double-digit goals.
Yep.
And I'm like, like, what's the limit on goals? You know, like,
yes.
and that's like the weird question because I'm not used to asking that question about the Rapids, but I just feel like there could just be goals coming from everywhere this year.
Right.
And that's not talking about this attacking group. I'm talking about midfielders too. Like,
Or defenders.
it could just be
Right.
craziness. So I don't know because of that.
Well, look, the Rapids scored 3 goals less times than Philadelphia scored 6 goals last year.
Yeah.
Right? And that is with Rubio hitting the record. So, and we'll get into this obviously more in our preview series, but like if he doesn't break the record, right? And you lost Zardis's goal numbers without really replacing them. I mean, right? Like he almost needs to, or at least to be close, just to keep the offense afloat almost.
At least start off the season.
Yeah.
Seeing how it goes.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but
I mean, obviously it's a long window to start
Yeah.
and there's another window after that. So,
Yep.
you know, if things go awry or whatever, time to pivot, but it's going to be interesting, man. That's a fun one. I think we're in a really good place going forward. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for our series here on positional previews. We will see you for our final preseason live show on Thursday. Today?
It should be today.
Tonight. We'll see you tonight. For Yahya, for Duane, for myself. We'll see you soon.